as you all continue to pay attention, make sure that you keep this aisle clean. We are recording in the back. So first thing, are you guys ready? Yes! This time, are you ready? Yes! Chris Thompson, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Action!
All right. When I was 10 years old, my teacher in grade school, grade 5, scared the living crap out of me. He told us all that we were going to have to give a speech at the front of the classroom. That terrified me. I thought I'd stand up there, I'd be a fool, everyone would make fun of me, and it would just be a total disaster. And for a long time, I was really afraid to talk to audiences. Something like that was a scary, scary thing. And it was only when I was about 19 years old that I discovered neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, and I realized that what I was doing with my own brain would control how I felt and how I would behave. And as soon as I realized that you could change things, change your physiology, stand differently, breathe differently, control the internal dialogue, what you tell yourself, and even making different mental movies, submodality shifts, et cetera, that we all know about. And that totally changed things. That made it so much more natural for me. I realized I could actually confidently speak, no problem. I could be in job interviews. I could be in social situations. I could give work presentations. And it changed my life in terms of everything that felt natural, which is easy to present. My name is Chris Thompson, and welcome to this class. We're going to spend the next 50 minutes workshopping and designing a video that you can build using a certain template that will help you grab clients. So stay tuned, and let's get this ball rolling. All right. Now, I'm so glad that you all came. I thought I was going to be presenting to an empty room. Now, I started that class that way because that was a 1-minute video. I just happened to deliver it in the form of not a video. Well, I guess it is technically a video. Hi. So that's exactly the template that we're going to be talking about using so that if any of you are here and you're going, oh man, I want to do a video, but first of all, I have no idea what to frickin' say, and I'm not really comfortable on camera, we're going to solve all of that. We're going to build you. You're going to be building. Hopefully you have something to write on. You can use your phone if you need. And we're going to design it using a really simple presentation that won't be salesy. It won't be pushy. Hopefully what I just said didn't sound pushy or salesy at all at the beginning, right? The way I started it. There we go. So let's just talk about the agenda. I call this a workshop. It's a workshop in 50 minutes. You're going to be spending maybe 8 minutes in total working on your own out of this entire time. And the agenda is pretty much as follows. We're going to talk briefly about why the heck does video even matter? Why do you need to do it? Hopefully you're not asking that question. That's why you're here. You already know. We're going to design your script. There's going to be a bulk. We're going to spend the bulk of the time on actually putting together the template that you will use to design a video script. 1 minute, you can say a lot, trust me. And I'm a guy who likes to talk. Then we're going to talk about how to record the video, some tips on just getting a good video presentation, and finally, some simple information on how to publish it. And I'm sure with some time permitting, we'll be able to answer some questions. All right, let's just quickly talk about why the heck do you want to make video? And it's interesting, a lot of hypnotherapists and hypnotists don't have any video on their website. Who here has a website currently, or maybe a social media? And now keep your hand up only if you have a video of yourself on that site. Well, that's a good amount. Okay, so switch and let's say, how many don't have video on their website? They do have a video, I do have a website, but no video. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Are you all committed to fixing that based on this very, very simple formula? So we wanna have a video because it'll help you connect with that potential client before they even meet you. If you can get them to know you, to like you, to build this sense of trust, they're much more likely to convert into a paying client. And that's what you want to have happen. That's why you're in this business. I mean, obviously you want to help people, but it'll be useful to make some money while you're doing it. Most hypnotists, like I said, don't use video. And I'll tell you from personal experience that as soon as you get confident doing this kind of thing on camera, it will transform how you feel about yourself. Your confidence will rise. It will map across into presentations like this in a room like this, and you will kick ass. So commit to doing video and get better at it. Just realize the first few will probably kind of suck, and you'll look back and go, those were awful. It doesn't matter. Done now is better than perfect never, right? So let's keep going. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Who here is kind of like, man, I really don't feel comfortable on camera. Okay. And that is such a natural thing. I tell you in absolute honesty, just do it. I went through that. I'll talk briefly about this. I hated being on camera. So I was scared, as I said in the intro, I was scared to do public speaking until about my early 20s. It started when I was about 19 and I started fixing it. And eventually it went away completely. But it didn't go away to being on camera. Being on camera was a bit of a different skill, something you got to get used to. But you can do it. It's totally fine. I started filming the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy back in 2012. Now, at the time, I was behind the camera. Mike Mandel was in front of the camera. And he was just a rock star. He'd just do stuff and talk, and it was totally natural. Well, I got the opportunity to model this key attitude that if you can convey knowledge while having a really good time doing it, then all of a sudden it's fun and it's easy. Does that make sense? That if you could have that attitude. So just adopt that feeling and pretend that the camera is a really curious, interested person, someone who wants to hear what you have to say. And if you hold on to that belief, pretend that it's true and stop pretending. Keep pretending. It will become true. So Mike then asked me, while we were getting onwards in the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, we were talking about self-hypnosis, and we were doing a couple of lessons on that. And I had a couple ideas. Mike, I got some ideas here on some self-hypnosis techniques. He goes, buddy, those are great ideas. You teach it. I said, whoa, really? You remember that? Yeah. Go, okay. So I did it, and I realized it's all just state management. We're all in a room full of hypnotists. We can manage our state. Just use this stuff on yourself and you'll have fun doing it. And like I said, remember, done now is better than perfect never. All right, you're in the right place. If you have any kind of anxiety afterwards, I suggest you go into the hallway and somebody will be able to help you with that problem. That's the other. All right. Okay, I'm going to quickly talk about this thing called the customer value journey. I want to give full credit here to digitalmarketer.com, Ryan Dice and his team. They developed this, and we have been living and breathing this in our company, and it's very, very effective. The idea here is that imagine you have a store. Well, if no one knows it exists because it's in the basement of some building and there's no sign, who's going to come to your store? Exactly this many people, right? Zero. So people have to be aware that you exist. Your video was going to help with that. They need to engage. Sort of like you see that, pretty girl across the room. She sees you, but if you don't at least, do something to get that engagement going, nothing's going to happen. So you have to have somebody know that you exist, know that your store is there, and you have to have some sort of action where they engage. They click the play button. They go, oh, okay, now I know about you. I know of you, and I know a little bit about you. That's the first two steps. By the way, the slides I'll be happy to just give to you after, and the video recording. That's why Timothy was handing out his phone. If you're not on our mailing list yet, just fill out the thing that Timothy's handing around. If you're on our list already, don't even worry about filling it out because I already got your contact info. You're good. So people are aware of you, they engage with your content, and then hopefully the call to action at the end of the video is going to be some sort of possibly like sign up here for our discovery call or whatever process that you happen to use. They're subscribing in some way to some communication method with you, whether they're giving you a phone number, an email address, whatever it is. So when you do your video, you're basically nailing, if this thing will advance, you're nailing off those first 3 steps of what's called the customer value journey. After that happens, that's when you can deal with the rest of the stuff we're not going to talk about in this presentation, converting them into an actual client, exciting them about the session or whatever you've sold to them, ascending them up, whatever value ladder you have of offers, and turning them into people who are advocating and promoting your business. So that's obviously something you want to have happen. That's the rest of it. We're not going to be dealing with that today. Fair enough? All right. Let's talk about the template, the format of the video, and the introduction 1 minute that I gave you is in 60 seconds, it's broken down into 4 easy steps. The first is the hook. It's only 3 seconds long, and your job is to create some form of curiosity. Next, we're going to ignite the pain. Igniting the pain. Oh, by the way, if I just reach out and yell at you, Timothy, keep me on time because I'll have to check in on where I'm doing. My phone's the recording one. You're going to ignite the pain. You're doing this as you're telling your own personal story. So you're not being kind of a jerk to people and igniting their pain. You're telling a story about your own life, something that went wrong perhaps, and you felt some discomfort or some pain. They'll relate to that. People relate to stories all the time. It's a natural thing in the world. It's a natural thing. It's the simplest thing in the world. A child could do it. You're then going to spend about 35 seconds, the bulk of your presentation, on describing the solution. How did you get from the problem state to the solution state? You want to map that into some sort of connection to what you're actually offering. You're not going to talk about, how you studied circus lessons or something like that if you're selling hypnosis. And then at the end, you're going to give a quick call to action, because no matter what, even in a non-salesy, very relaxed presentation, you're still going to have to give a call to action. You still need to tell people exactly what to do, even if it's gentle. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about the hook. Here's the easiest hook in the world. This is what I used when I started, and I recommend you remember these words. When I was, ... So if you start your hook by when I was, it's clear you're telling a story, and you'll fill in the blanks and you'll generate some curiosity. By the way, this formula, we always acknowledge where we learn things. I learned this from a man called Dennis Yu. He runs a company called Blitz Metrics, teaches marketing stuff. He's awesome. Full credit to them for this model. It's really awesome. So when I was, let's go through a couple of examples. When I was 22, graduate school scared the hell out of me. These are all real world examples when I helped our students do this inside the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. When I was 21, I was deeply suffering in an abusive relationship. Well, you want to keep watching, you want to find out what the heck is going on here, right? When I was 27, a complete stranger saved my life. I want to know more about that. And this was a stage hypnosis guy. He said, when I was 16, I glued my friend's hand to a table. He had done street hypnosis. Yes?
Is it important to say the age?
No, not at all. Just when I was. I think I said when I was in grade 5. I could have said when I was 10 years old. Doesn't matter. When I was living in Montreal. Anything. Age is common, but you don't have to do it. Good question. Okay. So those are just examples of hooks. And they don't have to necessarily connect directly to whatever's coming next. There's clicker. Come on. There we go. This has refund written all over it. It's Mike Mandel's line. I just want to... This is now, we're going to do the first part of the workshop. So all I want you to do is set the timer, 3 minutes, and I want you to keep that pen moving or those fingers moving on your keyboard and just brainstorm as many seeds of these hooks as you can. When I was... come up with a story. When I was in the military, when I was in grade 5, when I was taking swimming lessons as a child, create some hooks, something that is curiosity building, and just go starting right now. Keep me on track. All right, let's keep going then. All right, next step. We're going to cover the next 2 steps, and then you're going to workshop for another 4 or 5 minutes. So let's cover these. Now you're going to stir up the pain. So while you're telling, remember, this is your story. It's your personal story. You're not being a jerk by inflicting, bad memories on someone else and telling them you can't mind read. You don't know anything about them. You're telling your own story. People are relating to it. So you want to stir up some pain about the hook that you just designed and make it a little interesting. Something your client can relate to. Let's cover a couple of quick examples. First, there is the one that I wrote. This is my original version. I don't know how I delivered it in front of you all, but I wrote, he told the class that we all had to make a speech in front of the other kids. I don't know if you've ever been scared to give a speech, but I was just terrified, and I thought everyone would just laugh at me. Ha, 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 So that's like, oh yeah, I can relate to that idea, because everyone in this room could probably relate to that idea, right? And I never had to ignite any of your own personal stories and emotions. A couple of others I think I've got here. Here's one. When I worked with one of our students to flesh this out, and I think this is killer. When I was pregnant with my first child, I was scared out of my mind. I needed an epidural, which means they stick a needle right into your spine, and I was scared that if I flinched or moved, I'd be paralyzed for life. I mean, I don't know about you, that sure makes me never want to have a kid. Okay. I got 2, but I didn't give birth to them. Now we're going to identify the solution. So you've created a hook and you have agitated it a bit. You've stirred up some of the emotion around it. Now you're going to spend some time talking about the target state. How did you get to solve that problem? Often in hypnosis, Mike and I are always teaching the idea of you have a problem state and you have a target state, a desired state, and you build resources to get to that desired state. So what did you do? Tell the rest of the story. What happened? In my case, I talked about learning NLP and hypnosis and how that transformed me. So let's talk about a couple of examples, or one at least. So this was exactly what was in my first draft. I struggled with that fear for a long time. But then when I was 19, I stumbled onto NLP and hypnosis and began to discover that the things I imagined also controlled how I felt. I realized that I could actually change this by myself just by changing simple things like my physiology, my internal dialogue, and the kinds of images and mental movies that I'd create in my own brain. This allowed me to not only feel comfortable, but confident talking to strangers, presenting in front of groups, at job interviews, and all the other stuff that unlocks an awesome life. That actually sounds a lot better than what I said. It changed my life, but much more than that, it's changing the lives of the people around me, which feels great. Everyone's going to go, yeah, that would feel great. So this is now connecting the problem to what I am going to offer, right? I'm going to offer hypnosis as a solution. If somebody's watching that video, I assume they're already somewhat interested, especially if they're on my website. So those are the next two steps. I want you to stir up the pain. Take one of your hooks that you like best, just any, just pick one. You let your intuition drive it. Don't even think about it. Just that one, going with it. Stir up the pain, write bullet points or whatever you want that will represent about 12 seconds worth of talking. That's not very much. And then describe how you solve that. Try your best to connect it into what you're going to be offering to that potential client. And I just want you to take 5 minutes max. Maybe we'll cut it to 4 since we're running out of time. Timer starts now and begin. And we'll talk about the next steps. How are we on total time? I'm not even wearing a watch. 4:50. Oh, good. Half an hour. No, 20 minutes. While everyone's writing, again, same thing, same format. Shout it out if you're looking for inspiration. What's your stir up the pain? What's your seed that you're starting with? What hook are you using? And don't write too much. Doesn't take a lot.
When I worked in corporate America, I wished for Matt truck with me every day on my way into the office.
Oh, that's an interesting hook. Like, what the heck was going on in that brain to have her feeling that way? Yeah. Okay, so then stir it up, right? So now you're going to explain a little bit more about, you see, my boss was a total jerk, or something like that. And I don't know if you've ever had a boss that sucks like that, but this guy would call me in the middle of the night on weekends and insist that I came into the office and I didn't see my family for 3 months straight. Something like that. That would be an interesting way to stir up the pain. You want to make it feel real. Give a little bit of detail behind it. Is this making sense, everybody? Okay. It's the easiest thing in the world. You can tell your own personal story. It's not pressury, salesy. And I know from experience talking to a lot of you, nobody wants to do the pushy, hi, come buy my stuff video. 2 minutes left as well. See? Because 4 minus 2 is 2. Work. Advanced calculus. Has anybody got the Jeopardy theme here? All right. Yeah, I really want you to leave here with something. It won't be ready yet, but it'll be so freaking close to something that you can, I was going to say pull the trigger on, but press that shutter button on. You'll be able to turn this into a video today if you want to. Even something as simple as a selfie style recording, you'll be able to do this. And I really encourage you, take what you started here, finish it out in the hallway or in your hotel room later, and publish that sucker. Anywhere. Even if you just put it on your personal Facebook timeline or your TikTok. 1 minute to go. All right. I like it. Cue the final countdown. Ever tell you guys, the band Europe and the song The Final Countdown? When I was in grade 8, I think we were at a school band, we're all dancing, and I swore the lyrics were, the fire captain. Just. The final countdown. Okay. Are we good? All right. Here, it's going to take me that long to advance to the next slide with Michael C. Anthony's clicker. All right. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So you take your time to wrap it up when needed, but the clear English, don't do that on a video. You're now done the first 3 steps. So if you've been doing this, workshopping this with me here, you've got your hook. You've agitated the pain a bit, 12 seconds or so. That's the first 15 seconds. And you've written at least the fleshed out minor details behind the solution. That's supposed to take 35 seconds. That leaves you with a whole 10 seconds to tell them what to do, because that's what you got to do at the end of the video. Tell them what to do. So let's talk about the call to action. We're not going to workshop this part of it, but you'll understand it's pretty darn simple. It's just, what is the next step? What do you want to have happen? Your call to action. By the way, this is where you tell them who you are. Have you ever thought about the fact that, imagine you're out for a walk and you see a 7-Eleven sign. Do you think to yourself, I wonder who owns that shop? Of course not. You don't care. Nobody cares who you are until they're interested in you, until they know anything about your story. So I don't say, hi, I'm Chris Thompson, until the very last 10 seconds of the video. They do not care who you are until you engage their emotions. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is where you will actually introduce yourself. So you're not starting with, hi, I'm Chris, and when I was 5. Let's go through a few examples. This is the one I used. Hi, I'm Chris Thompson. This is a different version of it, but hi, I'm Chris Thompson. I'm a hypnosis trainer and entrepreneur. Keep watching, because I'm going to show you how to transform your unique story into a compelling video that'll get you more clients. So my call to action is to keep watching. Pretty simple, because I'm delivering a training. Yours will be a little bit different, obviously, unless you're selling weird videos of yourself. Here's Adam's. My name is Adam Jones. I'm a hypnotist, and I'm here to help you harness your own personal power to change. Book yourself for a free consultation right here on this page. I look forward to talking to you. That's maybe a little more than 10 seconds, but hey, within reason. I'm not going to fire anyone for going to 11 seconds or 9 seconds. The guy who was doing the street hypnosis, and I was doing Oliver, which is one of Michael C. Anthony's students. I'm Oliver M. James, and I'm a hypnotist. Book your free consultation right here on this page. That theme's coming up again. So we can work together to help you build the life you really deserve. I might even change that to truly deserve, just for a little extra punch. It's good. And okay, so I only put a couple of examples. There you go. Keeps it really simple, right? So does everybody get the idea of what that call to action is? You're saying who you are and you're telling them what you want them to do. Really simple. No salesy, pressury push at this point. Everyone like that format? Okay. Let's talk about editing the script, because when you leave, you don't even have a written, maybe you've written the whole thing out, I don't know, but did anyone write the whole thing out yet? Not really, just some points. You'll be able to, in about 5 minutes, and I'm not kidding, that's all it'll take, transform that into a first draft. And you'll be done. You'll have something that you could, in theory, go ahead and record, and it'll probably do a pretty good job. But let's make it better. So the first step is, I want you to read it out loud a few times to yourself. The reason you're going to do that is because when you write something, you're just imagining it. When you read it out loud, you go, oh, that sounds weird. I don't like that word, or I don't like the way I paused there. I'm going to change this part out. Just make it read so that it sounds like you're talking to people, right? Because that's what you're doing. You don't want, hi, I'm Troy McClure, whatever it is on The Simpsons. Make it conversational is the key point here. Now, the other thing I would do, I would really recommend that you take a second pass at it later and throw in a little salt and pepper of hypnotic language. So say double binds, presuppositions, embedded commands, any kind of language patterns. You could use a deck of cards like our hypnotic language patterns. We brought a few with us. We'll have them at the back after if you want. You could use like Jamie Smart made cards years ago. There are plenty of books or lots of resources where you can get language patterns and techniques that you could throw in. But I would recommend doing that. Salt and pepper a bit of that stuff in. Yeah, you could use the Nui app as well. Although these are more standalone, just simple techniques like the word just, I want you to just book your call right now. Use some power language. Practice your delivery. So deliver this. You can deliver it in front of a mirror, teleprompter, whatever you're doing, but practice reading it with personality and make sure that you smile, because smiling's something I'm good at. When you smile, smile normally. Don't make it like some weird contrived smile. Hi, I shop at Baby Gap. Okay. You really do want to smile. Smiling makes the difference. If you connect with someone, think about it. If you're walking, I do this all the time. It's an unconscious habit now. When I see someone, I just smile. Because I don't know if they know me or not, but I don't want them to think I'm mean. All right, we're going to move on to the next step here, which is recording. I said we're going to spend most of the time workshopping the actual script itself, because the rest is really easy. And I'm just going to give you guys some general pointers on how to make your life easy when it comes to recording video and stuff like that. The editing, very, very simple stuff. So let's just talk about what you need to have happen in your video. You need clean sound. You definitely don't want, like if I was recording this right now with my iPhone at the back of the room like I am, and I wasn't wearing a microphone here, it would just sound all echoey and horrible. No one will listen to that. How many of you listen to podcasts? Listen to Brain Software. Hopefully we have good sound most of the time. But have you ever listened to a podcast where you go, ooh, he clearly wasn't at his studio for that one. He's in some subway tunnel and not like, it's horrible. And even if it's some brilliant interview, I won't listen to it because it sounds like crap. So your audio cleanliness is super important when you're making a video. People will not watch, at least not for any length of time. For 1 minute, you can get away with a few, imperfections, but just try to do a good job making it clean. You want good framing. You want to be well framed in your video. You want basic lighting, which I'll explain, and you just want to have that personable delivery, which will take some practice. That's all it takes, guys. We all learn to walk, right? And we probably fell down a bunch of times. And eventually we go, oh, I can walk. You don't remember all the stumbles. You just walk. And that's what you're going to do with video. You're just going to make good video. And you'll look back later and go, oh, those really sucked, some of them. It's fine. We look back at a lot of our videos, and Michael, do you ever look back at your videos and go, that was horrible? Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. All right. So to do clean audio, I'm going to give you 2 quick recommendations. The first is, if you're close enough to your phone, it's Timothy's phone, if you're close enough, just use the built-in microphone. It's going to do a very good job picking up your voice. You don't want to be in a super echoey environment, so control your environment to some degree so that you don't have all this reverb and stuff. And the cheap and cheerful approach, just use the hardware that you got. You don't have to spend any money to do this. Fair enough? If you want to get a little bit more fancy, I wouldn't recommend anything more complicated than a little lavalier microphone that you can connect into your camera, your phone. You can get wired versions that are like the very first bunch of lessons I will tell you right now. Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, we used a $15 lavalier microphone. That's like insane when I think back to it. Well, why was I so cheap? But we survived and it worked fine. So you can use a cheap microphone. I'm not going to give you product recommendations and stuff like that. We can talk about that another time. I want to use your time wisely here. So clean audio. Basic framing. Now, I know there's vertical and there's horizontal, and you'll have to choose based on whatever platform you're using. If it's your website, I would recommend you go with the standard 16:9 widescreen style. I would shoot from about the belly button up to about here, and you want your eyes to be about 1/3 from the top down. So that's simple rule of thirds. Just position yourself. I got this on backwards. That's what I'm doing. No, I didn't. Position yourself in that frame, torso type shot. Simple enough, right? For framing. Next one's really important because so many people don't. Oh, wait, I missed a point. Rule of thirds. Here's the thing. How many times have you seen one of those webcam videos where somebody's got the webcam like on their lap and you just got a clear shot right up the nostrils? Don't do that, okay? Do not do that on video. Keep the camera at eye level. Maybe a little above eye level if you want to change the profile. You can experiment, but don't have it down here shooting up that nasal canal. No one wants to see that stuff. And it just looks bad. We're going in reverse. We're in the time machine, everyone. All right. Basic lighting. This is the simplest thing in the world. All you need to do is make sure that the best source of light is on the other side of the camera. That's why I gave you guys that little funny drawing here. So your light is on the other side of the camera, or a window in this case, perhaps. Or if you're doing it in a room like this that's fairly evenly lit, totally fine. I'll give you a little shortcut. I learned this from a woman who was presenting at a marketing conference. I can't remember her name, or I wish I could give her credit. Put your hand out like this. Turn around. In this room, where do I see that my hand looks the brightest? Interestingly, from here, because the light's coming from that thing. So my hand seems brighter right about here. So in this case, that's the source of light. I'm going to face this way. Put your camera here, put yourself on the other side of it. If you have the light behind you, what does it look like? Everyone knows what happens. You get a silhouette. It looks horrible. You come across very unprofessional. So just put the lights on the other side of the camera if you're using lights, or that window, or whatever it is that you're using. It doesn't need to be fancy. Windows are great. They're fantastic. Finally, be real. Use your real personality. Remember we talked about smiling, and don't make it all contrived and weird, and I drop my hands like this. We've seen a lot of video where people actually do a pretty good job at delivering. But how natural does it feel if I just stand here and talk like this? Would you ever do that in a social situation, or giving a class, or lecturing anyone of any kind? This just feels weird. Use your hands. Use your body language. Just don't go nuts with it. That's honestly the biggest piece of feedback I give a lot of our students when I see their first video. It's like, I can't see anything. Bring your hands up. Use some gestures. All right. Recording and trimming. This is so easy. You're going to do like very little editing. You're going to record. I would recommend you record using some sort of teleprompter app on your phone, or if you want to get a little fancier down the road, in our studio, we use an iPad that reflects onto the little beam splitter thing. So we're looking right at the camcorder lens. So our eyes are on the lens. You have to be looking, or seeming like you're looking at the person you're talking to on the other end of that camera. And you can't do that if you're reading a script, or if you're reading here and the lens is here. You know those Zoom calls where everyone, it's become normal now and almost accepted, because it's weird to look at the webcam and you still want to see the people. So, but you know, in real life, I don't teach like this, right? That would be awkward. At least I hope you think it's awkward, because it is. So make sure that you're looking at the camera. I would recommend, you'll either have to memorize your 1-minute script, or memorize a version of it, or put the script into a teleprompter app so it's as easy as possible. I want to take away all the excuses that you could throw at me and go, but I can't memorize 1 minute worth, but you know, I'm going to stumble, but I'm not looking at the camera. When you do it, record it in one shot. If you record this sucker as just one video, there is no editing, right? Makes your life easy. It's only a minute. You can keep that camera rolling, and you can do 5, 6, 7 takes until you're happy. And then you just drag those little handles to trim. Every phone app has, every video recording camera app has little handles that you can control the start and finish, and then you're done. Fair enough? Pretty simple. Everybody thinks they can do that, but you're probably wondering, well, what do you mean use a teleprompter app? Is anybody wondering that? Okay, let's talk about it.
That reflection part where you're not looking at the, I didn't understand that whole split thing you talked about. What was that?
You want to be perceived, oh, we have a beam splitter glass set up. It's like a glass that's on an angle. So when our iPad is sitting on a little horizontal shelf, the iPad reflects and we see it. Like the professional teleprompters, you know, when Joe Biden is trying to read from it, that kind of stuff. So, but you don't need to go there. But it's just because we shoot a lot of video and we'll write a lot of the scripts for presentations. So here's what I would recommend. These are the two, in my opinion, that are the best on the market, Big View and Prompt Smart. And actually, does anyone know the company AppSumo? Yeah, hopefully you do. Go to AppSumo. They've got a deal on right now. We're not an affiliate. Prompt Smart. I think it's $59 lifetime deal, and you can use their app.
I've got Big View. How does it compare to the other one?
Yeah, okay. What I love about Prompt Smart is that it is voice activated. So when you're talking, it is listening to you and is scrolling to match what you're saying. It's really awesome. So you don't have to do, with Big View, I don't think it has that feature. I have both. I have the AppSumo deals on both. And Big View, you set the scroll rate, which is fine if you want to be forced to match a pace that you've predetermined is appropriate. That's a great thing to do. But I really like Prompt Smart because it just follows our voice, and it works really well. It picks up all the audio great. There are mobile apps for these things, so you can use them on your iPhone, your Android phone. There's desktop web-based versions of these if you want to sit at your desk and have that webcam, and it will position the text, like I've shown here. It'll position the text very close to the camera so that you appear to be looking at that person on the other end. It makes your life so easy. And these apps, I'm going to say with 90% confidence that there's a free version of all of these that you can use. And I recommend that it's where you start. It's really, really simple. Yes?
Do you find that people see that your eyes are moving as you read?
No, they won't. If you're not like right here, which you won't be, because that would be awkward, right? You don't want to be awkward. If you're far enough away, it doesn't look at all. I was actually going to add in a video. One of our students did a really nice testimonial video for us. And I said, oh, that was awesome. I noticed that the file name was something teleprompter. Did you do that with a teleprompter? He said, yes, I used such and such an app. I couldn't tell because it was so well refined. Once you practice using these just a little bit, you'll follow. And you won't even necessarily read your script. It's going to be a cue for you. You'll deviate slightly and you'll sort of fill around it, change a word here and there, and it'll pick up where you're going. It'll just follow you. Yes?
What about, I have Logitech to put on my computer.
You have?
Logitech, that little like a camera over the computer.
Okay.
Is that okay as opposed to my phone?
Yep. Yeah, as long as you're going to get are you going to get a good picture quality? Are you going to get good lighting? Perfect. Use it. Then it takes away your excuse. My job here is to make it easy for you and take away any excuses that you've been using, because everyone's been using some excuse in the past, haven't they? Going, oh, I can't do video because this or that's not good enough. No one's going to care what I have to say. I don't know how to do it. This takes away those excuses. So check out both Big View and Prompt Smart. I think they're excellent pieces of software, and they make your job easy. Now, uploading/publishing your video. This is really almost the end of the presentation. How much time do we have left? Oh, fantastic. This is great. Okay. YouTube is, of course, free. Everyone knows that. The only downside is that you might get commercials showing. YouTube controls the content, so they could decide, hey, we're going to advertise in the front of your video. Doesn't look that professional that way. They show related videos, or at least they used to. I don't know how they do it now, but your content will end and something else will be there, and that looks a little bit weird. But again, that's not an excuse. It's free. Free now is better than, just never doing it. There's also Wistia and Vimeo. Those are both professional versions. You can pay for subscriptions, but there are free versions. They will let you host, I don't know, maybe 3 videos or 5 videos. If you haven't published one yet, you're not going to use up the 3 or the 5 limit because you've got 0. So make it 1, put it on Vimeo or Wistia, then they're not going to put an ad in front of your content. Whenever you do that, and everyone here knows how to create an account because it's like filling out a form. It's the simplest thing in the world, right? And then once you upload it, they'll give you a link. They go, this is the link to your video. You go to your whatever website tool you're using, and if you don't know how to do this, we can talk about that separately. But almost every website builder these days gives you some sort of drag and drop little element, like a video element. I want to put a video element here. And it goes, well, what do you want to put in there? This Vimeo link. Save. You're done. It's the easiest thing ever these days. So we're not going to go into a lot of the technical details, but I just want to convey to you that you can do this. You can make your video, you can upload your video after trimming, trim the start and the finish so you don't have one of those videos that says, hi, I'm Chris Thompson and that I look forward to, okay. That's just weird. Don't do that. All right. So you've got your upload. If you need help with this kind of stuff, there are plenty of ways you can get help. There's tons of YouTube tutorials on how to add video to your website. There's tons of people who know how to do this. You probably have friends who know how to do this. I'm your friend. I know how to do this. And we're always happy to help out students inside of the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. If you're not a member, then we'd love to have you become a member. This is not a sales pitch, so I'm not going to tell you to go join the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. That wouldn't be right. And I think that leaves us with about 8 minutes or so that we can talk about your questions on making videos. So if you have a partial script or anything like that and you want to just brainstorm a bit, let's do it. And then we'll be at the back and we've got some of these language cards if anyone wants them. $10 a deck. Yes. Come on down.
I wrote it.
Okay. Do you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah.
For the identify solution. When I was 18.
No, this whole thing is, it's just, forget about that. This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
Number one.
So start here.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I did. See, I was right. My dad told us when I graduated high school, we would have to move 3,000 miles away. Oh, that's good because everyone can relate to being a teenager and, oh crap, I'm leaving my friends. My life as I knew it was forever changed. I had to say goodbye to everyone I knew throughout my life and basically start over. Yeah, that's great. I was devastated. I learned by, what does that say? Here, you read it.
Okay. Oh my God, I can't. Oh, I learned by tunneling my emotions.
Tunneling my emotions. Oh,
I was
good.
able to transfer my pain to helping others. And then my name is Robin Ginsburg. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm here to help you deal with very personal issues you think you can't get over. Just call. Just
Make your call right now. Make that call.
Make your
Flash the number.
for your complimentary
Yeah.
consultation.
That's excellent. I like the hook a lot. I like the stirring up the pain. I would like to see more content on the solution. How did you discover and then install those changes that you made in yourself? You want to give people a bit of a sense that, hey, this lady knows what she's doing. She could help me, right? If you just say, I don't know what I think you
So
could
just more
beef that up a bit. Yeah, time
by the
it.
tunnel.
You time it and you go, oh, it's 38 seconds. Great. You can add 15 more seconds of explaining the solution aspect of it. That is an important aspect. They're all 4 important steps, but that's excellent. You do it. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. What else we got? Bring it on, Antonio. You've been doing some video for years, some starting and finally now some actions. Okay, what we got?
So when I was 40 years
Here,
old.
come over here. You're going to be on camera. Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta be in front
I'll
of you.
give you.
When I was 40 years old, my teeth started to crumble and fall out of my mouth.
Ooh.
If you've ever woken up in a cold sweat from a nightmare where your teeth are crumbling, you know how terrifying this can be. I'm gonna look hideous without my teeth. My dentist had done a lot of work on my teeth and gave me a night guard to stop me from grinding my teeth to dust. Problem is I didn't tackle the stressful situations in my day-to-day life that caused me to grind my teeth. On top of this, I was terrified my dentist wouldn't take me on as a client anymore because I was destroying the work he had done and it would kill his reputation. Hi, I'm Antonio Perez. I'm a former victim to nighttime teeth grinding turned hypnotist. I use hypnosis to manage my stress and anxiety. Click the button below that says stop me grinding my teeth to discover how I can help you to stop grinding your teeth and racking up thousands of dollars in dental repairs.
That's awesome. So can you, buddy, that was great. Can you guys see, thank you, 5-minute warning. Can you see how, or hear or interpret how a video like that would actually appeal to someone who had a teeth grinding problem and they came to you?
It's terrifying.
You go, oh, this is the guy. And by the way, people will come to you for other stuff. So if you're known as the teeth grinding specialist, they'll still go, oh, can you help me quit smoking? Can you help me lose weight? They'll do that stuff, right? Because they go, you have some skills. So that's great. What I would do to improve that is I would spend a little bit more time again on identifying that. So how did you get to the solution? So when you say, hi, I'm Antonio Perez, I am a former teeth grinder, I can't remember how you turned hypnotist. Spend a little more time on, it wasn't until I discovered, boom, that outcome happened. If you do that, people go, I can do that too. That's what you want. People listening to a video, watching a video going, that sounds like something I could do. That would be great. Perfect.
Sweet.
Thank you. Good job. What else have we got? Sure.
I haven't put up any videos yet on my website. I always sort of picture myself doing Facebook Live.
Yeah.
But you haven't touched on that. So is there
I haven't, yeah.
downfalls to that?
No. Well, the downfall is you could come off like a complete fool your first time. No, I mean, going live is like, you're all in, right? You could delete it later, I suppose, if you have no audience, so that's fine. I would actually encourage anyone out here to go, anyone in here, not out there, go live. Just see what happens. No one's going to laugh at you. Just find something you can talk about. Hey guys, I'm here at Hypnothoughts Live, and I just want to share with you that I learned such and such today that was awesome. because Thompson taught me this awesome stuff, and it's great. Yeah, and he's a swell guy, and yeah, do it. But for what I want to accomplish here is to help you all get to the point where you at least have the ability to go, hey, I have a template that I can follow that's easy to do, that's actually interesting for people to listen to, isn't too long. I haven't told a long, boring Ken Sweatman story about my whole life, and that you get it done. Once you do that, then you can take the next steps and go, all right, maybe I'll do some longer videos. Maybe instead of, as Mike and I often do now, we don't script out the whole thing for our YouTube channel. We, inside of the teleprompter app on the web, we just make some talking points. We go, we want to cover this point, this point, this point, this point, and then we want to give a call to action, which is go join MMHA, something like that. We throw that on the teleprompter, and it doesn't even need to scroll because we're just looking at all the points. And then we can go back and forth and converse with each other and be very conversational about it. And it's not a script, but it's a much longer form video, but it seems very conversational because it's not a script, right? So there we go, 2 minutes left.
Question. At the end of the video, do you also put your company's name and email because if it's on YouTube?
On our YouTube channel, we'll typically have some sort of ending or call to action. Yeah, I don't know if we do it at the end, if it's on our YouTube channel, but if we're talking about something that's going to go on your Facebook page or your website, people will know, there'll be branding there already. So I would say, pardon? Oh yeah, we'll repurpose them. Here, my goal is to give you a simple template to follow so that you can get one video that is usable and then go from there. This is just the first step, and then keep going. Yeah. Get in the habit of getting awesome at video. It will change your life. It'll change how you feel about yourself.
One question. Why
Jane.
can't we do it at our desk?
You can.
You could use Zoom or you could use...
Yes, that question actually came, who asked the webcam question earlier, just a moment ago? Yeah, if you have a good webcam, I know from Zoom meetings with you, it looks fabulous. You got beautiful lighting. It's awesome. Totally, just do that. Your iPhone is or Android phone is an easy option. Your webcam will be fantastic as long as you keep it eye level. And probably got like 20 seconds left, so let's see if we can hammer one out. That's a more you totally do that. I just want to give you guys a simple formula here. Like we can talk more about that. I'm here all week. We'll be all weekend. We'll be at the Alligator Bar all night. All right. Thanks again, and good night.